If you are someone who has heard of rev.com, someone who has looked for online work opportunities, work from home opportunities, someone who's looking into freelancing, or maybe you are someone who has applied to Rev and not heard back from them in months, then this is the video for you. Rev.com offers transcribing, captioning, and translating services. They are a company that offers freelance work to pretty much everyone in the world. I don't think there was a country I did not see on their list of freelancers. I worked through Rev for 3 years, so I have a pretty good amount of experience. I really wanted to do this video because I feel like it could help someone out there looking to apply, someone who never heard back, or someone who's looking for online working opportunities. My experience at rev.com for the past 3 years was overall really good, although I'm going to go in depth with really negative things, things that I did not love about rev.com. I have to say that I am really grateful for the freelance opportunity that I got through Rev. I made a lot of money. I'm still a student and I managed to make my first 100,000 Rand before I turned 21 doing work through Rev. I managed to travel, to save money, make more money than I ever had before, obviously, to pay for my 21st. Rev gave me really great opportunity. I'm going to go through some of the pros and cons that I personally found working for Rev, and you can use that information how you like. If you'd like to apply, take my word for it and do, and if not, that's up to you as well. The first pro working through rev.com is that you have really flexible hours. You don't need to do any amount of work during the week. You can do as little or as much as you want. This is really great because it gives you time freedom. If you don't feel like working one day, you can work the next, or if you have something come up, you just don't have to work that day. The second pro working through rev.com is you can work from anywhere. Literally anywhere, because it's freelance work and it's so time and place flexible. You could work while you were on holiday, while you were at home, while you were in a cafe, and I really enjoyed that because it felt like I had a choice. It just gave me that choice of where I could work, and I know a lot of people are looking for that in work, so that was a really big pro in my opinion. And the third pro is that you earn in dollars working through rev.com. They pay through PayPal, so it is necessary that you have a PayPal account, and they pay every Monday. So that was really nice to earn dollars and earn every Monday. And depending on where you come from, the fact that you earn in dollars is really invaluable. For me, I think the rand to the dollar at the moment is like 20 rand to the dollar. So whatever I would be earning multiplied by 20 is quite a substantial amount of money. On to the cons of working through rev.com. The first one is their ridiculous grading system. And I know using the word ridiculous sounds a bit extreme, but in all honesty, it is really ridiculous. I think if you were to check reviews for Rev online, you'd see that the biggest complaint from people who've worked through them is the grading system. Now, Rev does not grade you on every single job that you do. When you start out with rev.com, you start out as a rookie and you do jobs to see what your score is. You have to have a score of 4.5 out of 5 so that you can be promoted to a Rever. That is where you have access to all the jobs and you can properly work. I guess being a rookie is kind of like the training period, but after you sustain a score of 4.8, you can go on to be a Rever Plus and earn more money. The way your ratings are determined is by doing the gradings, and the graders at Rev are super harsh, I do have to say. They have a very serious style guide that you have to follow. The grading system is actually how I lost my freelancing job with Rev. Because they are so strict and so harsh with their grading, you do have the option to kind of fight that grade and query it, but with my experience, regardless of how I queried it, what my reasoning was, the grade wouldn't really be changed, it would stay the same. And this obviously affected my ratings. What happened with me was, when your rating drops below 4.5, they send you a warning email. And I got my warning email, and they let you know that you have a certain amount of time, I think a 120-day period, and you have to increase your metrics, as they call it. That's your rating. And if your rating drops below 4.5 again, then your account is closed. You cannot speak to anyone, you cannot email anyone. They make it very, very clear, do not contact them after your account is closed, because they will not reactivate it. And what happened was my metrics dropped, and I did work to bring them up. I got a 5, and a 4, and unfortunately that 4 replaced a pre-existing 5, and my metrics dropped again. So even though a 4 is something that you want, my metrics still dropped once again, and then my account was closed. So I do feel like it was unfairly closed, but unfortunately I cannot do anything about it. What you want to do with Rev is get a score of 4 or 5. They rate you between 1 and 5, 1 being the absolute worst, you cannot use the project, and 5 being at the best. With a 4, it means that there are errors within the transcript, but it's still customer ready. When there's a 3, that is not good. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like you can really argue with the grading system. You have to stick to the style guides and do it a very certain way. Otherwise, you are going to get a bad grade. The second con to working through rev.com is the low pay. I would say that overall, I think the pay that you get from Rev is actually okay. My big problem is that you'll spend a lot of time working on one project, and even though it's maybe, let's say, paying $30, the fact that you're having to work like 10 hours on this horrible project doesn't make that $30 really worth it anymore. The pay is decent. It is okay. I would not say that you could live off of it unless you really worked hard, like you were at a conventional 9 to 5, maybe even more, depending on the projects that you get. I feel like that is the biggest catch with Rev, is you have to be very, very careful with what kind of projects you choose. The third con is the audio quality. And like I said with the grading system, if you look at reviews from previous freelancers that work through Rev, they will tell you that the audio quality can be disgusting. And let me tell you, it can be disgusting. Some files tend to have really great audio, but other files just do not. You will find a lot of crosstalk, a lot of severe accents, but not actual good quality audio. So you're dealing with accents, but you also can't hear really what they're saying. So you sit there and you struggle. That is what you do. You can find jobs that have an audio quality between 0 to 10 and then 90 to 100. And let me tell you, sometimes the 50 to 60 rated audios are the worst. They are horrible. I remember this one time I spent, I think 8 hours doing a job that was for $40. And even though $40 is great, the fact that you spend 8 hours on it kind of lessens the greatness. And the fact that I felt so angered by the audio quality being so bad did not really make it feel like it was worth the $40. So the fourth con to working with Rev.com is the little to no support. And what I mean by this is when you come across problems, it feels like there's no one who can really help you, no one who you can reach out to. In my experience, when my account was closed, that was it. It was done. There was no one I could talk to. When it came to disputing grades, like a few of my projects that got 3s, I disputed it and I said, I am working with the worst quality audio. What do you want me to do? I feel like a 3 was the best I can give you. And all they told me was I should just choose projects that I'm comfortable with. They didn't actually deal with what I was bringing up, deal with my problem. So I felt like the support that I had was just non-existent. Because we are human and we're bound to make mistakes, I feel like there's going to be a few errors every now and then, but it felt like with Rev, there was no room for error. It felt like they were dealing with computers, not really human. You know, I didn't feel like they had any kind of empathy or compassion for their freelancers. And I honestly feel like no matter what you're working, if it's a conventional 9-to-5 or a freelance job, I think we deserve a little bit of empathy, you know. The fifth and most unfortunate con to working through rev.com is that you might never hear back from them. Their test is very simple. All you need to do is answer a few questions about yourself, say why you'd be a good transcriber. They used to do way more things relating to your command of the English language and your grammar, but that has changed a lot. So that is really nice, because it seems like they're looking more into what kind of a person you are and how well you suit the position that they have. So although their application test is really short, really nice to do, and actually kind of fun, I think it's really unfortunate that you might just never hear back from them. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm always sharing things that I find about side hustles, ways to make extra money, because I feel like it's going to help someone. It can definitely help someone out there. And I would post a lot about Rev, about what I was making, how flexible it was, to encourage people to apply. And many people messaged me and they said, thank you so much for sharing. I have applied, I'm going to apply, I'm so excited, so encouraged. And a few months passed and they'd message me again and they'd say, hey, how long did it take them to get back to you? Because I have not heard back. And this was like 4 months later. And they claim in the email after you apply, they thank you for applying and they say, we will reach out to you between 4 and 8 weeks, I think it is. When I first applied back in 2020, I knew pretty much 1 week after I applied whether I was accepted or not, and then I was put on a waiting list. Now, unfortunately, it seems like people are just not hearing back. They will never know if they were accepted or not, which is really disrespectful. I feel like because they're a place that consider themselves and think of themselves so highly, it's kind of rude to just leave people hanging. Okay guys, those are my pros and cons after freelancing through Rev for 3 years. I hope that it was insightful. I hope it gave you the information that you need going forward. And if you'd like to apply to rev.com, I would highly suggest it. I would say go for it, you never know what happens. Unfortunately, it looks like you may never hear back and never know if you got in or not, but at the end of the day, I think it's worth a try. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot more content like this coming and I'm really excited to show you guys what I have. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.